let's talk about connectors. Connectors used in full protection systems must comply with the standard N362. The carabiner, the most common one which we might default to using, is called the symmetrical carabiner. This symmetry is provided by the seats. Both sides of the connector are the same. What advantage does this connector have? Well, in devices that are more or less large, in the seats, it works. Let's say it sits well on one side and the other. There are no forces generated by smaller angles. This is a symmetrical SAFETOP connector made of steel with a manual lock. You need to be careful with manual connectors, and remember to close them. Even in certain operations, at height, it's possible for the connector, due to the friction of our body against other parts of structures, to open up. So, it's not just about checking that it's closed, but also verifying it periodically. Then we move on to another SAFETOP connector, which, as you can see, is asymmetrical. It's a steel connector. With automatic locking, as you can see, it locks automatically. The seats are clearly different. For example, going back to the case of large elements, as you can see, in this seat, it seems that when tension is applied, it takes us to the part, let's say, the most robust, which is near the right angles. And if we use the short side to work, it doesn't. Sit as well, it doesn't. Provide as comfortable a seat as the larger part. Asymmetrical ones are very commonly used and are more recommended for anchor points, for work ropes, safety ropes, installing retractable fall arresters, and so on. And they will always remain at the highest point of the element, at the connection point, let's say. A connector, symmetrical, made of a different material than what we've been discussing. This one is aluminium, but the caveat here is that it's an automatic locking and unlocking connector with 3 movements. You need to lift, twist, and open. If we just twist it, it won't let us open it. An asymmetrical, self-locking aluminum connector, and unlocking with 2 movements, twist and open. As you can see, it also has an asymmetry that we can explain again through these 2. In this seat, it works worse, and in this seat, it works better. Air-shaped carabiner. The seats are big, one much larger than the other, but it's for use not just in one system, but we can put more than one device of this kind. They are comparable to large opening carabiners. However, the narrow part doesn't easily accommodate elements that can end up being large. In this case, the material of this connector is aluminium, and automatic locking and 3 movements to open. And finally, the large opening connector. Unlocking is achieved with 2 movements according to the standard and has an opening capacity of 60 millimeters. It's meant for use in anchoring elements, for scaffolding and metal structures.